Astronauts report it feels good. T-minus 25 seconds. 20 seconds and counting. T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes.
Is there anybody out there that wants to roll? And is there anybody out there that wants to boogie? Tonight, live from the Apollo, Glasgow.
Well, if you're looking for trouble, I'm the man to see. If you're looking for satisfaction, it's satisfaction guaranteed. I'm as cool as a body on ice. Hotter than the rolling dice. Send you to heaven, or take you to hell. I ain't fooling, count your tail. I'm alive, I'm alive.
Hello. Cheers. How you doing?
Good,
Hi,
thank
man.
you.
You fine, mate? How you doing? Hi, my name's Scott MacArthur,
My name's Andy Muir.
and welcome to what's this? The fifth or sixth? I can't remember, Andy. The sixth Glasgow Apollo live broadcast. Welcome to the show, folks. How you doing
Yep.
today, mate? You all right?
I'm all right. Thank you very much.
Good.
Yep, very good. Not bad. How are you?
Okay. The gremlins have been doing their thing again. We've had my microphone here, which I'm scared to touch it. Fell off the table earlier and it didn't work for about 20 minutes until I played with some settings. And then my other laptop, which has got the chat on. Hi, Bon. How you doing? Nice to see you. Isn't working properly, but it seems to now. So I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants here. That's how I'm doing.
Right.
So you'll see Andy's looking a bit clearer, aren't you, mate? You've got a new laptop.
I have, I think. Yeah, well, I do. I know I have. I got a new laptop. Right, anyway, that's enough of this malarkey.
Enough of that. Right. So tonight we've got the usual mix of some stories. We've got an update from the Facebook group. Got some interesting stuff come in, some quite weird stuff come in. I'm going to talk to you about our video memories project because that's starting to happen a little bit, which I'm dead excited about, and so is Andy. So we'll talk about that. The live video this week is a weird one, and I'll explain at the time, but that is a good piece of music, but it's slightly odd. We'll do that. I'm going to say happy birthday to some old fart who used to sing with Free, Bad Company, and we're going to finish with some good old metal. So that's the plan for tonight. Have I missed anything, mate?
Well, just good manners and, you know.
Oh, I don't know. I'm feeling slightly frazzled because of the tech. So it's you never know what's going to happen. So let's see. There's Chris saying hello. Hi, Chris Welsh. How you doing? Nice to see you, mate. And hello to Doug. Good to see you as well. So, all right, mate. So we'll start with where we usually start. How's the Facebook group been doing this week?
Site's been doing really well again. I'd like to say thank you to the 5,599 active members. Personally, thank you all very much. You're doing a great job. This week actually, we had 108 new members, which is great. Thanks for taking the time out to join our little community. That's fantastic. Also, I forgot my music, mate. Sorry. That's right. Now, top 5. Top 5 for people.
Give us 6 months, mate, and we'll nail this.
Oh man, we won't. It'll still be as good as this. I can't get any better. For number 5, Steve Hall. Good job, Steve. Number 4, Jim Greenan. He did a lot of photographs this week, I think. Derek McAdam and Jimmy Smith again, and William McGachan again. a new member again, so he's banging out the
Fantastic.
posts. Thank you, and not Tommy Vance.
Well, I've actually, you know how they say you never want to meet your heroes. No, I never met Tommy Vance.
Hold on.
Oh,
Is this a name dropper?
a name dropper?
Are you going to
What's
drop a
one
name here?
No.
Right. Okay. Good.
Oh, well, if you like.
No, that's fine.
I was talking to a pal of mine who used to work at Radio 1. He's one of the sound engineers.
Yep.
And he's still in the industry. He's obviously retired now, but he's still doing some sound work, mainly at events. And I was saying to him about this, and he was saying, "Oh, great idea," and he was really supportive of what we're doing. And I said, you know, it would be great if we could. It's a shame we couldn't get Fluff or Tommy Vance or somebody on from the rock shows and stuff that we all used to listen to. They went, "Tommy Vance." He said, "Oh God," he said, "great voice, not very nice to work with." And I was like,
No.
That burst my bubble because I've always loved the guy. So
Yeah.
Anyway, I still love him. I don't care what this guy says. He doesn't watch this anyway. He's into classical music. So anyway, so gigs this week, mate. What happened this week?
Gigs this week. Hold on. I'll pull up my computer. It was a big week this week.
Look at it.
It is a huge big week. Oh yeah, you've sorted it out so it looks nice. Good. Yeah, and I just like the part where it says years ago, and it's got like it's so bad. It's so scary, you know.
Yeah.
It's 48 years ago. Like family and they were a sort of country. I think they were a country rock. No, folk rock band, British folk rock band. Good gig on the Faces. That would have been a fantastic gig. That would be, I don't know. I'd love to go on to see them because I love the Faces. Yeah, Richie Havens. I don't know much about him, but I'm pretty sure there's people in the group that will like him. Elton John. Never heard of that guy. Don't know what happened to him. No, he's done all right since then. And then there's a massive big gig, a lot of gigs there from the Faces, supported by Bill Barkley, who I think was a sort of music comedy guy, kind of Billy Connolly-ish.
Was he?
Yeah, I think so. I think he was. He did, but that would have been a fantastic run of shows. I wonder if anyone in the group went to all those shows.
Yeah,
Bound to be some mad Faces fan. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, but lots of good gigs. Sensational Alex Harvey band probably start. That was their. Was that the start of their? No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was. Yeah. I don't know. We're just getting better and better. I'm forgetting what I'm saying.
There you go, mate. There you go.
Yeah. So there's lots of gigs this week. Oh yeah. So that was like a 3-date run for them. So I'm not sure if this is the one where I've seen the picture of the dancing girls. Have you seen that picture? It's quite a good picture. No. Wow, that's close enough. Yep. I think they're close enough.
Leave it, dude. We'll come back to that.
Yeah, and then there's a Rory Gallagher gigs, David Essex as well, Alex Harvey band again, more Rory Gallagher the next year, and they all sort of, well, they're all coming back for Christmas, so you know, little Christmas bonus, I think, Christmas bonus tour. Paul McCartney and Wings, and you know that I went to that gig. It was my first gig at the Apollo, so it's sort of etched in my memory as a fantastic occasion for me. It was really good. I even remember getting the train home. It was that big a night because it was just so big. The Police again, and Saxon and John Anderson from Yes, Blancmange. Good pop band. I used to like them. Culture Club. Wow.
Moving on.
Mate, they were big. You can't dismiss them like that. They were a massive band in the 80s. Yeah. Confusing for me as a young lad going, is that a man or a woman? I don't know. And Judas Priest,
Yes.
You at that?
No, that was the year before I went. Actually, that was the.
Well, that would have been good because Quiet Riot were playing that as well, so that would have been a
No, that was a year. So that was it was 81. I went to see them for the first time. The first gig I was at was accepting them. So that was 2 years before, I think.
Yeah. Why didn't you go again?
Probably because I was skint, mate.
All right. No pocket money.
No, none at all. Used to.
Yeah. And then the Police again, and Joan Armatrading was playing as well. So it was a really big week because it's like Christmas, run up to Christmas. What was that? 61 gigs
Unbelievable.
over that period of time. That's a lot of gigs.
So who were the Animal Quackers?
Animal Quackers. Oh yeah, I looked them up. So they were sort of like a British version of. Yeah, I've forgotten what it was again.
The Tweens or the Banana Splits?
Banana Splits. That's what it was. They were like a British version of the Banana Splits.
Yeah.
Not quite as high a budget. That's all I can say. So they did songs and they played. They're probably very good. There are probably heaps of people there. So be like the Wombles, but not. They had a TV show, so.
Did they? All right, okay.
Yeah,
was anybody at the Animal Quackers there? We need to meet a Quackers fan. They'll probably get a cult following online, mate.
Yeah. They get dressed up in their costumes. Cosplay. Cosplay Animal Quackers.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. So there's a couple of things. Thanks, mate. There was a couple of things came in on the group that were linked to that it won't surprise anybody that the Sensational Alex Harvey band became quite a focus on Facebook this week. This is David Reinford. Hi, David. How you doing, mate? Good to see you again. And he's referring to a piece that he put on the website, on Facebook group, about the Alex Harvey group. And he put, it was a version of them doing Vambo, and Tommy Vance introduced it with a very, very fetching moustache. Wasn't it good? I hadn't seen a lot of proper live stuff by the Alex Harvey band. I just missed them. I never got to see them. I wish I had seen them because I thought the guy was a genius. But it was pretty damn good, actually. And there was quite a lot of discussion on the website. Alan Baxter put a post on there, and we've had quite a lot of response to it. And it was about the famous Christmas shows, and I know some of you were at that. What I can't understand is why that wasn't filmed, because it was a big deal at the time. I mean, there's loads of media, and I flashed some of it up that you guys put on the site. So it was a big deal. But I did some reading into it, and I'm sure some of you guys will know more than I do about the Alex Harvey group. I never saw them, but I liked them. But they did these two venues. They did one in Glasgow and one in London. And I flashed that up earlier, Andy. This thing here.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and
I said I read. See that if you go back a bit, see right down at the bottom of that right down the bottom there. There's a little quote that says, "The business has been sensational." That was great. Yeah, that was a good.
The irony is, and I was reading quite a good piece on these three gigs in Glasgow, and then the ones that they did in London. It basically never made them any money. They didn't do very well, despite the fact they sold these gigs out. They didn't do very well, which is shocking, really, because ticket prices weren't well. I don't know if anyone's any good at maths. I don't know if £1.50 was cheap. I don't think it was in 75, but it obviously wasn't enough for them to make enough cash, because they ended up rehearsing in a basically a rundown building where fundamentally we no electricity or running water. It was a bit of a disaster, actually. I mean, I know the gigs are legendary, and there's a picture here, this one here. Now, it kind of from the angle of Alec, kind of looks like it could possibly be the Apollo. I did look on Google Images, and there's the only thing that anyone's ever said about this image, I'm sure somebody out there will know better than this, but all I can find on Google is it's an unattributed image. That could be the Apollo. I don't know, but it definitely sums up the man, doesn't it? He was quite a character, and he's pretty much attributed to the sort of being the godfather of punk as well, which is something to be said. Now, was anybody at the gig? But then you got, I don't know if Joe O'Rourke, if you were there, or Ian Bamford, were you there, mate? But I hear the story, and Andy mentioned it earlier about the dancing girls and how the band came on famously. And again, I'm telling this from stories, not from the fact I was there, because I wasn't. But the band came on, and in the press cuttings that Derek McAdam sent us, it tells us how these girls were dancing. But they turned round and they were Son's underwear, which I believe was quite a thrill, and they got a good response. But again, I've looked only for about half an hour, so I've not done extensive into this, but I can't even find a recording of it. Now, I don't know if Jack's on tonight from Rescued Recordings. Jack, if you're there, do we have a copy of this? Because I'd love to hear that show, because it's really quite legendary. So that's one that I would have loved to have been at, and I'm sure you're the same, Andy. Would have been something else. But there's a fetching outfit that they're all wearing there. Chris Glenn's looking, really good. But
it was the 70s. Yeah,
quite eccentric. But
those shorts are quite
interesting.
Yeah, they're they're good for a drummer.
Yeah. But as I say, I would love to have been there. There's this is from Chris. Zal Clemson still gigging in his band Sin Dogs. He's 71. Yeah, he's some character, isn't he? I saw a recording on YouTube with Zal playing with Elkie Brooks.
Oh yeah,
bloody brilliant. So it was. I mean, she had a great voice. And Zal, he didn't have the makeup on, but he was very good. And I've heard the album, Chris. It's not bad actually. That Zal album. I was supposed to see him at I think it was Bonfest, but it didn't happen for me. I can't remember if I was too drunk with my brother, or he didn't show up, or it was a combination of both. So I've not seen him for many, many years. I saw him back in the 2000 noughties, I think, when he reformed with Martin Keelty was looking after them as a manager. Saw them then; they were great, but he's quite a character, fantastic outfit, and as I say, I really wish I'd seen them. The other thing that came up, Andy, and sorry, did anybody get anything else? Sorry, I should ask you what you think. Yeah, it was 7 gigs. It was there was 3 of them in Glasgow and 4 of them in London. So you were right, mate. You weren't talking crap. You were nearly right. So anyway, so that was one thing. The other thing that came up, and it often comes up, and that's the band Queen. They were there. Were they on the list there, mate?
No. Were
they not?
Not this week. Oh yes, they were. Sorry, you're
right.
I
thought they were. I'm losing my marbles. So Queen came up, and this is this story. I have to be honest, it had me in tears. So I'm kind of hoping I don't do it again. Jim Gibson put the thing up at the 75 gig, and he was talking about Mr. Big. I have to say, I got confused for a minute. I thought, Mr. Big? They were going in 1975. But of course, it was another Mr. Big. And the band with 2 drummers, apparently. I don't know Mr. Big's music at all, but that was who the support band was. There's not many bands with 2 drummers. Genesis. Who else? Genesis. King Crimson, have they got 2 drummers?
No, I can't remember. James Brown.
So you got 2 drummers? Right, okay.
He used to have 2 drummers. Yeah.
You're just making this up?
No. He had 2 of the best drummers ever in his band.
Anyway, in Jim's post about Queen,
do you mean 2 drummers on stage?
Eh?
Do you mean 2 drummers on stage?
I assume so. Did anyone go to that gig and see Mr. Big? Did they have 2 drummers on stage? Anyway, in that post that Jim put up, Martin Thomas put something on in terms of the. Hang on, let me just move this down so we can see the chat. There you go. The Glitter Band had 2 drummers. Adam and the Ants had 2 drummers. There you go, look, see?
Wow.
collective intelligence is brilliant. I love this.
Three.
Did they? All at the same time? Must have been, was it a percussionist and 2 drummers, or my goodness.
Was there any room on stage?
Well, they all sit and twiddle anyway, don't they, mate?
Yeah.
I like a bit of King Crimson. Although, have you seen the Robert Fripp and Toya videos they've been doing during lockdown?
I love it. I love
like
it. Paranoid is excellent.
Talk about hedonism.
Did you see the Paranoid one?
I did. It was brilliant.
Brilliant.
That was a friend of ours, Big Ian Martin, was a big fan, wasn't he? And he used to rave Toya. He used to love it to bits. Yeah. Alan Baxter's saying, "I've just had 2 drams." Is that the same?
Yeah, tomorrow morning when you feel when you have another 5, you'll feel the drumming in your head, mate. Yeah.
Anyway, hear this story. If you've not read this on the Facebook group, I think it's really touching. So we had, as I said, it was Jim Gibson who had put something on about Queen, about the 75 gig, and there was all the, a really good response and people remembering it. And actually, there was a reference in there to the Whistle Test did the Christmas show of Queen that year. Sadly, not from the Apollo, but from one of the London venues. What a brilliant video it is. So, guys, if you've not seen it, basically, I believe someone said in the group it was basically the same set. Queen were incredible back then. I mean, they were incredible all the way through their career, but my goodness, they were good. I really enjoyed. I watched the whole of that last night. I just watched the whole lot. It was brilliant. Anyway, buried deep inside that chat, there was a guy called Martin Thomas. Come on, Martin, if you're there, hello, mate. Thanks for sharing the story. And Martin was at school. He was 14. And if I misquote you, Martin, I'm sorry. I'll do my best to remember the story from Facebook. But basically, he was sitting one day in geography, and this lassie came up to him. Her name was Georgina Haynes, or Hayes, I think it was Hayes. And she's saying, "Are you going to the gig tonight?" And she was talking, are you going to the Queen gig next week? And he said, "No, I can't afford it." He was only on 50 pence pocket money, so he couldn't go. Anyway, a couple of days later, he's in assembly, and the lassie taps him on the shoulder. She wasn't his girlfriend. She was just, he implied in the thing, he didn't even know that well. Tapped him on the shoulder and gave him an envelope. Guess what was in the envelope? A ticket to the gig. You can pay me back. You can pay me back when you can afford it.
Oh, that's nice.
Brilliant.
Oh,
So I love it. I think that's one of the best stories I've heard, Martin, from the Apollo days, and how kind people are in these days of shite on the news and stuff. Sorry for swearing. I'm not that sorry for swearing. There's a lot of shite in the news at the moment. It made me well up, guys. I thought it was brilliant. So thanks very much, Jim, for starting that thread, and Martin for sharing your story about you and Georgina. And I hope she's a rock fan. I hope she's still into music, and maybe one day she'll have seen Queen as well. So brilliant story.
Did she not go?
Say, mate?
Did she not go?
I'm assuming not. I don't think she was a fan, Andy. I think it was just the fact she was a nice person and just gave Martin a ticket. So honestly, I think that's one of the best stories in the 18 years since we've been doing this. That's one of the best stories I've heard from the Apollo days. That's brilliant. So thanks again, guys. So what are you all saying to this? Now, who's this? This is from Alistair McIntosh. Going back to the Alex Harvey band briefly. Although I've never seen them, my big brother saw them. In one of his gigs, he was on stage and he popped out of this gigantic box. Is this true? Yes. This was the Christmas show. I've read conflicting stories about this. Don't know if you have as well, Andy, but the story goes that the band were in a present, a big box, and they brought it to the front of the stage and they appeared out of there. If anybody there who can actually remember it, because it's so long ago, even if you were there, you might not be able to remember it. But apparently it was just an amazing show, Alistair. So your big brother is blinking lucky to have been at that. Absolutely fantastic.
It was only like 43 years ago.
I know, it's quite incredible, isn't it? Another comment here from Who's this from? This is from Steve Hall. I'm sorry, the names aren't transferring yet from Facebook into the system we use to broadcast, so I've got to glance over. So my apologies, but I like to tell who's speaking. So Steve sent us a note saying his first, the first Mr. Big had a hit with their song Romeo in the late 70s. I really don't know that. Do you know that, Andy? Romeo?
No, I don't know that.
I know the heavy petting one.
D-
Not going to go there.
We've done this. We've
Not
done
going
this.
there. Not going there. Not going there. And right. And Alan Baxter.
You're
Any
jealous.
live clips from the sensational SAHB Christmas shows? No, Alan, this amazes me. There isn't that I'm aware of. Have you seen clips, Andy?
No, but it would. I wonder why.
Well,
Yeah.
I think
Especially with the content at the start, I thought someone would have filmed that.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I can only assume, given what the article said about the financial state of the band, I'm wondering if they couldn't afford to get it filmed.
Yeah, maybe.
That might be the reason, because this is this is a knockout gig, you know, a knockout 7 gigs, and you would have thought they would have wanted to record it, but it's just not there. I'm sorry to say, Alan, unless, I mean, there are mythological stories about certain gigs being recorded, like Status Quo and AC/DC, etc., more AC/DC stuff. But I've not. If anyone's heard anything, and if anybody's got anything, oh my, I would love to see it. But even a photograph of the band or the girls or the something or other on the stage, I just am amazed there's nothing there. The bouncers must have been on top form that night for there not to be anything, you know, because you know, often with these big gigs, something pops up. And I've certainly not heard a recording of it.
I would have thought that maybe someone from the Apollo would have recorded it, you know, in the secret bunker in the little, was it projection room? I think they used to record stuff from there. So it would have been a good thing to record.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
But,
hey, did you see some of these pictures this week that I had not seen ever before?
Which ones?
There was some from Queen, I think, and it was I've forgotten his name, sorry, but he was a student and he'd taken some pictures of Queen. I'd never seen them. They were really good. Yeah.
No, I haven't seen them. I'll need to have a look for them. Maybe we can show them.
He was doing a project for college or something, and I think he said that even the college paid for the ticket so that he could go in and take pictures.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, what they used to do, I remember Stuart, the late friend of mine, Stuart Campbell, who I met through the Apollo website. I don't know if you ever met him, Andy. Did you meet Stuart? I think you were here.
I didn't meet him. Nope.
He was a student as well, student photographer, and he used to get in for 15 minutes at the start of the gigs.
Yeah.
So he would go in, take pictures, and come out. And guys, I've got the photographs.
Oh, you found them?
Good. Well, probably when I get a couple of hours, I'll go through them, and hopefully we'll be able to show someone. I'll maybe put a reel together, a video film of them, Andy, rather than do them individually, because there's quite a lot of them on there. I think they're watermarked, but that doesn't matter. They're still worth seeing, and there's some real beauties there. From memory, there's good, really good Whitesnake, Police, Kid Cole and the Coconuts. Is it Kid Cole? Kid Creole and the Coconut? What was it? Kid Creole, yeah, the Coconuts. So it's there's a lot of good stuff on there. So fingers crossed, there might even be some Queen stuff. I don't know. I can't remember. I have seen these photographs, but it was a long, long time ago. So what's everyone else saying here? What's this one? Who's this from? Hi, Gordon McRae. The most tragic night I seen was Backstreet Crawler with Paul propping himself against the amps, although looking back at free footage, he did the same then. Wasted talent. He was a bit of a dude, wasn't he? It's such a shame.
Yeah.
What happened to these guys? Some of these guys just lost control. But I would still love to have been at the gig, if I'm honest. Absolutely brilliant. There's someone just saying there that Mr. Big was on the EMI, the same as Queen. That might explain why they were on the on the bill that night. Oh, Gary Glitter came out of a big box. I bet he did. and I think so did Mark Bolan. Mark Bolan's another one. Sorry, I'm going off piste a bit, but I was looking for Mark Bolan stuff because some of you will have seen there's some half decent photographs of Mark Bolan and T-Rex from the Apollo. There's not many of them, but there's a few of them. Anyway, I went looking at the video, and again, there's very little video of Mark Bolan playing live. But then I found there's a whole show from Wembley, from the one that was a swimming pool. I can't remember what it was called. Actually, this is a bit of a thing about the show, Andy. We need to copyright this. This is a show where two mates talk about something they can't remember to a bunch of folk. I mean, it's ridiculous.
What was the name of that band? Oh, I can't remember.
At least you're all patient, and some of you can remember bits. So hopefully, between the 8,000 of us, we can piece all of this together, try and remember our bloody childhood and youth.
You're up too late, and I'm up too early.
I think that's what it is, you know. And I never have a drink. I mean, this is the fish drink, you know, the alcohol-free stuff. So I'm desperate.
Woo! Wild times, mate.
Have some shots of Van Halen, Scorpion, Small Faces, and Blue Oyster Cult. Good old-fashioned Polaroid. That you must share them. Who said that? That's Alan again. Share them, Alan, please. Love to see them. Any live footage of Lizzie? No. There is, but it's not got any sound. If you go onto the Apollo YouTube channel, which is still unintelligible in terms of the address, but if you just go and put Glasgow Apollo on YouTube, you'll find our channel, and in the videos there you'll find some Thin Lizzy footage. It's from a project that was done in Glasgow a few years ago, where they found it was like Peter Frampton, Thin Lizzy, who else? Yes, and a few others. The Faces, they all appeared, but none of them have any sound because there was legal reasons why they weren't allowed to put sound on. But some bright spark has started to put sound onto them from recordings that Jack has uncovered. So actually, that could be quite cool moving forward. So, and actually, that links quite nicely to what I'm going to show you in a minute here.
That'd be quite good.
Yeah, it would be good to see them because there's a lot of them are pretty good.
Is it full songs or just like little clips?
It's 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
You know, so it's not just a few minutes like the McCartney one or whatever. It's actually a little bit of footage. So on the subject of footage, one of the bands that are obviously much loved in this group is a band called The Clash, and they've got a fair bit of history with the Apollo. Their famous stories about bouncers and about, you know, they made a part of a film there, and you know they've got a fair old history. So I went looking, Andy, and again, there's not an awful lot out there. I mean, JJ McGee, thanks mate for getting in touch. Started a conversation on this, and that's what got me going. And I had a look, and the gig that was this week was the one that Susie supported them. So that must have been brilliant. Susie and the Banshees and the Clash in the one night must have been fantastic. And actually, I was watching, you know, Anthony Bourdain. Do you know Anthony Bourdain? Yeah.
I do, yeah.
If you've never heard of Anthony Bourdain, folks, he's passed. He died last year. He took his own life last year. But he's probably, I guess he's like Michael Palin here, but with an edge. But he's also a chef, and he has made literally hundreds of travel documentaries about cities, countries, areas in cities, etc. And I watched one this week. He's one of these. I have him on continuous play. I love the guy. And if you like travel shows, you've never heard of him, Anthony Bourdain, absolutely out of this world journalist. And he did a show from New York, and it was all about the birth of punk and how punk started in America, not the UK. And it's all a bit contentious, I'm sure. There's some old punks would disagree, but basically talked about. Sorry?
Started in Australia, actually.
Oh, did it? Oh, right. Well, it's probably not happened in Australia yet, is it? Is it not 1972 in Australia?
Hey, mate.
Anyway.
Have you heard of a band called The Saints?
I have. Yeah.
Well, 1976, their first song. Best punk song ever.
No, I heard that. I'll need to have a listen, mate.
Stranded. Excellent song.
There was a band on there, and I'm going to close this circle if you're wondering where I'm going, JJ. There was a band that apparently Malcolm McLaren copied when he made the boy band that was the Sex Pistols. And the guy who was the singer, was it the Voivoids or something like that? I can't remember.
Yeah.
But anyway, this guy looked like Johnny Rotten. I mean, he did, actually. Johnny Rotten looked like him. And they were and Anthony Bourdain was interviewing some of the guys who promoted the punk bands early on in New York that they claim influenced the British punk bands. I know that's a bit contentious, but that's what they said in the show. But in the film was Susie, because she was in amongst that lot back then when she was a young girl. So Susie supported the Clash. So I'm going to show you this piece of Clash film, and then we'll have a look at some of the comments, because there's quite a few coming in. But this is an unusual piece of film, but it's becoming more and more common, because this is a film. It's not from the Apollo, the film, but the music is from the Apollo. I think that says something. They've dubbed it, and the guy's name's at the end. So thank you, mate. I've forgotten your name, but your name's at the end of the video. And what he's done here is he's put in the middle of it some film of the audience outside the actual Apollo. So it's really worth watching. So I hope you enjoy it, guys. I'd never seen it before. Not been a Clash fan, that's probably why. But then I saw the bit in the middle with the Apollo. So I hope you enjoy it. Here's the Clash. How much of a find was that?
What were you talking about? Did you say that in the Hammersmith Pally?
That's somewhere else. It's not the Apollo.
That's the Apollo.
No.
Yes.
It's not. It even says, if you look, I'll send you the link. You can have a look at it.
That's the Apollo, mate.
If that's the Apollo, that's great. But I don't think it is. I think he said.
But the song is called White Man in Hammersmith Pally.
Aye.
That's the name of the song.
I know. I understand that. But he said in the thing. Anyway, don't you? How good is that film?
It's very good. Where's the rest of it?
That's one of the best ones, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant.
I hate saying things that are just like one song, and I'm going, they must have done the whole thing.
Exactly. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed that. I loved there was quite a rabble outside those young punks, weren't they? Yeah.
Well, they're young lads. Like me and you.
Fantastic. I love it. It's one of the really.
Yeah. I think that is the Apollo. I think the whole thing is the Apollo. Yeah.
I hope you're right. I don't know. I don't know if it looked high enough. Anyway, it's the usual.
It does look high enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
It does. Yeah.
Right. So various things coming in. Where did you stash your camera when you were frisked? Right. There's a few you used to take dodgy pictures, Alan, etc. Where did you hide your camera? Or were you just taking luck? I mean, I remember one time, I think it was at a UFO gig, and there was a guy next to me who'd one of these old, remember those tape recorders?
Yeah.
Full size one. Yeah. No, they were the tape, the red button. I nearly fell for that.
He's like, whoa! Got it in his backpack.
I don't know how he did it, but got some.
But maybe the person who said they've got some Polaroids was the same person on the chat just now said they had Polaroids, but was that the same person who they said they walked in with the camera just around their neck?
All right.
And the bouncers just went, oh, that guy's nuts. Just let him go.
Let him go.
Yeah. That would have been that. Yeah.
Let me just see if I can just try to get name checks here. I hate it.
But I'll tell you a story about taking something dodgy, and it wasn't even dodgy. It was a bit stupid. I don't know why I did this, but I was at MSG gig, and I went with Colin Toner, our mate Colin, and I had my granddad's pipe with me for some reason. I just had it was like an old pipe, and the bouncer says, "Oh, have you got anything?" Something like, "Have you got anything to put in have you got anything dodgy on you?" And he was like, I don't even know if they frisked you at the time, but I had my pipe there, and they said, "Oh, you can't take that in with you, son." So I was like, oh, okay. So they put it in the cloakroom or something. I got it back. Anyway, I remember at the end of the gig, I got my granddad's pipe. I've got no idea why I had my granddad's pipe, but thanks, Dad, for giving me the pipe. But I don't know why I had it. I can't remember.
You try to act as if you were old and responsible or something, mate.
Maybe I was just had a bit of a Sherlock Holmes sort of thing going on, you know.
Now, I think
Yes.
there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, here's Alan Baxter back again. He's saying, "We'll scan the photos and send to us." Brilliant, mate. Look at this. Could this be? And a couple of Alex Harvey ones as well.
Cool.
Could we have a find here, guys? Thanks, Alan. Good man. Thank you very much. And then another one here we've got from Gordon McCrae.
He says, Alan Baxter says, "Yeah, guns and steel combs." Who took guns in?
The history of Glasgow through music. There must be some knife stories out there. I don't know if we want to cover that sort of stuff, but from back in the day. This is from Gordon McCrae. I've given a copy of my bootleg now. Gordon, there's a rule, right? In this group, we're not allowed to call them bootlegs, or Uncle Jack gets really grumpy. They're called rescued recordings. Okay, Jack, you can cut that bit out and use that on your website. Rescued recordings.
Yes.
So Gordon's got a rescued recording of Wishbone Ash at the Apollo from '73. You're giving it to Jack. Struggling a bit with it, but it might come out quite soon. Brilliant. And he smuggled you smuggled your cassette in your old school bag. God.
And they let you take it back in.
Aye, it's unbelievable. Features Andy Powell saying, "We don't do Phoenix anymore." Is that a song? Must be.
Yeah.
We gave it to Slade, but they couldn't play it. Yeah, I interviewed Andy Powell for the website. I don't even want to speculate how long ago it was. Someone else is saying he's not that nice a guy, but he was very nice when I spoke to him. He was quite a fan of the Apollo. Well, there's an awful lot tonight. We're not going to have time to get through all these. I'll hear someone doing some analysis. Andy, you'll like this with your insect brain. Back to the Alex Harvey gigs and the ticket prices. By comparison, Maxwell House coffee 4 ounces 32.5p, and Tate and Lyle sugar 2 pun 10p. No wonder they were skint. Yeah, it's true though. They were cheap. So what?
Yeah.
I can't do the maths in my head. Can't do my maths in the head. For some reason, I did not class the Clash as real punk. There was a lot of reggae, ska, rock and roll. I agree. Yeah. I absolutely agree with that. I've often struggled with folk that say that. I mean, somebody else in the group has said that the Clash were their favourite punk band. I think punk might be more of an attitude thing than a sound, because there's quite a lot of the American punk bands sound like heavy metal bands to me. Like sort of Rage Against the Machine type sound. Obviously before that, but so I think it might be more. I don't know. I might be wrong, mate, but I think you're right. There's a lot of reggae in it, and a mate of mine, Tom Morley's his name. He was in the band Scotty Politti, and he said to me that reggae was the thing that ignited the sort of the political movement behind the sort of the punk, some of the punk stuff. So although there was a lot of pretty awful punk music, I didn't like it, and I didn't like a lot of the punks either because they were always gobbing in each other. But there was a serious group side of it, and a lot of them were reggae guys, white and black guys, doing sort of politically motivated stuff, and they called it punk. So I don't know, I'm not an expert, but I think that's right. I think it's more an attitude thing than anything else. But I agree, the Clash are a reggae band. They turn the volume up a wee bit. There's somebody agreeing with you, Andy. Definitely the Apollo. Seen that before. Part of the Clash movie.
Yeah, it is the Apollo.
Fine, all right. I'm not arguing with anybody. No arguing with you.
Not like you, mate.
I'm fighting it. And someone else saying, yeah, but they embodied punk. Yeah, I think that's right. I think it's an attitude thing. A lot of folk think Motorhead were a punk band, and Motorhead quite often thought they were a punk band, and it's like Pearl Jam nowadays. Well, back in the noughties, Pearl Jam, a lot of their music is punk as well, but the American version of punk, and it's all through all different genres, I suspect.
It's just music.
Just music, man. Yeah, that's it.
It's all music.
Right. Brilliant film. Loved the scenes outside the Apollo. Mind the streets buzzing like that. Yeah, me too, mate. That was something that I loved it when I saw it. It brought it right back. And I think it was the fact that it was in colour. I was like, whoa, I remember that, which is fantastic. My goodness, guys, you're on fire tonight. I don't think I'm going to be able to get through all of these tonight.
Do you see that Bon Scott comment? It says sometimes used it as a walkie-talkie to get down the front. Is that the camera?
Oh, I see that.
Was that a Kodak Instamatic? Kodak Instamatic. I don't know.
I tell you what, the Apollo Choir were definitely creative with all the material that's out there.
Did the bouncers even have walkie-talkies at the Apollo? Or did they just shout and go, "Oh, Jim! Chuck him out!" Yeah. Oh, we Kodak. Yeah, Kodak Instamatic. Yeah.
I remember them. Oh, you must have had money. You must have had money, mate. I couldn't afford one of them.
No.
Not you. Not talking to you. Also, with cameras, the birds didn't get frisked like the blokes. Aha! They got them in easier. Gave them to the birds. All right, okay. And written in Scots as well. I like that. Yeah. What's this one here? Where are we going? I hate the fact that I can't just read names out. I'm really sorry.
It's all right.
I know I probably am being a bit anal here, but it's John. Hi, John. Here's John. John Henry said, I heard stories about people going in during the day and stashing drink behind radiators. Yeah, I've heard that. Maybe they did the same with cameras. I think girls were less likely to be searched, so maybe they took them in. Yeah, I think you're right, John. I think that is probably what happened most of the time. It was a couple of folks saying, yeah, it wasn't a very good queuing outside. It was a bit cold. Hated queuing around the block. It was freezing. And I do remember how bad it was. I remember queuing for co tickets once. And the Radio Clyde guys turned up with hot soup because we were all standing there doing this. I was a mate of remember Graham Potter?
Yeah.
I went with him and we queued out for, I think it was about a day. And oh God, it was freezing. And here's Alan saying, I'll scan them over. Brilliant. Queen, Gillan and AC. That's brilliant, mate. Thank you very much, Alan. Can't wait to see them. I actually saw a whole stash of Bowie ones as well on Facebook, which I thought I'd come back to another week. So there's still, it's amazing how often photographs come out. It's just remember when those Kiss ones arrived, we hadn't seen them. Yeah. It's like, look at these things, but unbelievable. So before I show you or play the last piece of music for tonight, there's a couple of other things that I just thought were really interesting and quite cool about what's been happening in the group and as a consequence of this show and as a consequence of the group coming together. I think one of the guys, Alan Sinclair, if you're there, Alan was in the support band for the Alex Harvey band. And Alan, it's not on the site what the name of the support band was. So if you're watching, mate, let us know what the name of the band was, because we'd like to put it on the site, and it'd be terrific to hear more if you got to meet the band or whatever. That would be fantastic. Yeah, really, really good. The other one of our regulars, Jim Greenan, who I had a chat with earlier as well. Jim was saying something that is brilliant. He posted a piece from another site of Iggy Pop from one of the Glasgow memory sites, and in the comments, none other than Glenn Matlock added a comment. Glenn Matlock from the Sex Pistols. So we had what was it, Kevin McDermott last week, and we've got Glenn Matlock this week. Yes, it's fantastic that these guys are getting involved in the chat. I think it's absolutely brilliant. So Glenn, if you're watching, thanks, mate. And if you fancy coming on as a guest, you're welcome anytime. Absolutely brilliant. The Sex Pistols are unusual because they're one of the bands that there's been a few bands that have cancelled gigs, but it's one of the gigs that you can see the tickets and I can certainly see the posters out there for their Apollo gig that never happened. That would have been one hell of a show. I would love to have been at that. Absolutely brilliant. And then the final piece, it was Steve Hall had an idea that I'd encourage folk to go over to the Facebook group and have a look at. It was quite good. He said, what bands did you go and see that you never knew who they were? You know, we all used to do it, didn't we? Because you couldn't get access to the music back then as easy as you can now. So I think it would be quite good to do that. to see what folk come up with. There's a load in the talk already. One guy went to see ZZ Top, and another guy went with his mates to see Judas Priest. I think he was very complimentary, but anyway, that sort of thing, quite nice wee stories about what folk have done with just going with their mates or just taking a punt and liking the name of the band.
Or like the album.
Sorry, you like the album cover?
You like the album cover? Yeah.
So let's just see.
Well, there's one of our first reviews, mate.
That's it. We'll have that. Thank you, Alan. Brilliant live podcast. First time I've been on, but we'll definitely check in again and get some more of my mates on. Thanks very much. Do you know, it's pretty humbling, this, because it's amazing, because I know we're and I'm going to talk about it now, but getting these memories down and helping folk remember stuff, including me and Andy, as you've seen again this week, is pretty special, and I've got one. We're going to do this regularly, but this is a piece that I'd like to do every week. And just let me introduce it to you. Now that's probably the most rock music I could find on any of the sites that give me free rock music, Andy. So I apologise if it wasn't very good in it. But this is a part that I mentioned last week. That Andy and I had this idea via the after show party that we have, where some of the guys said it'd be really good if we could start gathering, stories again. And then I had the thought, well, wait a minute, why don't we do it in the contemporary, which is by video? Now, it just so happens that when we announced it, it went down really well. A lot of folk have contributed today, actually, not video, but they're all saying, yeah, I'm going to do this. We've also got a couple of guys in the group that are professional filmmakers, etc. So it won't surprise you that one of them was one of the first ones to get in touch with us, and it's our mate Doug from Over the Water, who's been in touch. And this is what Doug did. And if you've not seen this, on the Facebook group, some people said it reduced them to tears. That's how good this is. So let me show you what Doug sent over.
Can you hear them? The Glasgow Apollo choir is in full swing again. And look, the doors are open. Let's go. Come on.
So when I got that, I got a shiver down my spine. So look, folks, if you'd like to take part in this, we'd love it. And I've got a few more. Another one, we got a really interesting one, didn't we, yesterday, Andy?
We did, yeah.
And I'll play that next week. But if you'd like to take part, get your phone, just speak into it. Give us your name and say, I was at the Glasgow Apollo. If you're shy, that's enough. What would be better is if you could tell us a story. And in that story, you could maybe use one of your artifacts, like if you've got a bit of a chair or a ticket or a poster or a book or something you've got that you can talk about. Believe me, that works. It really helps you remember stuff if you're talking about something, not just trying to remember it. But don't worry if you make mistakes. I can edit it out. I can fix mistakes. No problem at all.
Don't worry if you make mistakes. That's us. That's this whole thing.
Live, yeah. But if you make a mistake, don't worry. Just keep recording, right? And get it over to us. And if you send it to apollomemories@yahoo.co.uk, that would be fantastic. I would love us to get a couple of hundred of these in the bag. Because it's just a way of capturing people, when their memories are still working enough that they can do a video. And actually, you can maybe be able to watch yourself back, Andy, in a few weeks' time and remember what you actually thought that night. It could be quite good.
Right, I remember what I was trying to say. Oh yeah,
yes, exactly. That was it. Yeah, that was it. Right. Right. We've got a few more comments before we play out with the last piece of music. There's loads this week. Thank you very much. Right. I'm sorry, not got time to do the names. I'll try and do them. But Dr. Hook and Don McLean, street creds out the window now. Well, I'd like to have seen Don McLean and Dr. Hook. Nice bunch of guys who I interviewed them as well for the Apollo website. So they're a nice bunch of guys. I don't like their music, but the big guy at the front, forgotten his name. Dennis. That's it. Nice guy. I absolutely think he's a good guy. There's somebody saying, "Can you make me look?" Who's this, Ian? Can you make me look 20 years younger? I can blur it a little bit if you like.
Yeah.
That's about as much as I can do. I can put a filter on it, but that's a bit as best I can do. Still got my tickets from
Dennis
Queen.
Corey. That's right. Yep. The guy from Doctor Who.
Well done. Oh, that's right. He's got a funny name. You were at a good bunch of gigs, mate.
Funny name. He has a name.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Right. Now, we'll stop the blethering. I'm going to finish with a band I've seen loads of times. And I know a lot of you guys out there who are rock fans and metal fans like this lot. I think they're magic. Not everybody's cup of tea if you're not into rock music, but I think they're outstanding. The singer, Big Biff, you'll know who I'm talking about now. He was just about to do a speaking tour of his days with Saxon just before COVID hit the country. And but I did hear a recording of one of the shows, and I tell you what, one smart bloke. Not why, I mean, maybe I'm being unfair on him, but smart guy, and I thoroughly enjoyed what I heard. So this guy's is Saxon. Live at the Glasgow Apollo, doing one of their hits, actually, Strong Arm of the Law. I hope you enjoy it. You can really tell it's at the Glasgow Apollo.
The Strong Arm of the Law.
Oh yes, I love that. I absolutely love that. Absolutely brilliant, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Andy, how did you feel that went, mate?
As great as ever.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, yeah, it's really good.
Now we've got I think next Friday's Christmas Day, isn't it?
Not for me.
Is it cancelled?
It's a Saturday for me. It's a Saturday. It's Boxing Day for me.
Right. We'll have a think of it next week. I mean, I think we'll be on. I've just got to make sure the Home Office is happy with me taking a couple of hours out to do it. So should be okay.
And you're sober enough to go.
And I'm sober enough, yeah. But but I would say there's a good chance we'll be on next week. If not, it'll be a couple of weeks, obviously. But we'll certainly be on 2 weeks' time. I'd like to be on next week, so let's just see if we can manage it. I hope you enjoyed that. There's a few of you saying you enjoyed it. Thanks very much. That's brilliant. All right. So as ever, these days we're going to have the after show party on Zoom, and the address for that is in the Facebook group. If you don't have it, I don't have it to hand. Andy, have you got it to hand by any chance?
Nope.
Sorry. I should have had a copy of that, guys. Sorry. Hang on. Let me just do it while I'm here, in case, because I know some people don't like Facebook and they get a bit itchy about it. Hold on. I'll just launch my Andy Entertain. What are people saying, mate?
Well, the people are desperate for us to come on next Friday. Scott is anyway. Yeah.
Well, I'm not against it at all. It's just a case of
I don't mind. I don't mind. Yeah.
Here we go. I've got it. There you go. Right, I'll put there's the address there, and I'll put it into Zoom as well. So we usually go on for a wee while, half an hour to an hour on Zoom as well. So if you'd like to join us, that'd be fantastic. And one last thing, just to remind you about this idea we've got about the video capturing idea, capturing your memories. If you're a bit shy about it, and you'd like some help with it, I'll help. I've got an online diary that I can send out to the group, and I'll put a couple of days in that folk can take little slots. You just talk to me, and I can record it from my end. I can edit it, and we'll capture the memories. Because do you know what? I'm quite keen, as Andy, we're quite keen to do this because I think it's a great idea. There's a few folk that have said, I wish my mate was still here because he'd passed away. He had loads of stories. Well, I know it's a bit morbid, but, guys, I think it'd be good to capture your stories. So if you want to get involved, let me know. Drop me and Andy an email anytime. We don't feel any pressure to do it, but it's not as difficult as it sounds. I know it's quite daunting for some people, and it used to be for me. So, get involved. That would be great. Any parting words of wisdom, Andrew?
No.
Right.
Just have a lovely week, everyone.
Have a lovely week.
Listen to some nice music, and be excellent to each other.
Oh my goodness, you're getting philosophical, mate. Anyway, we'll see you in Zoom, hopefully. And if we don't see you in Zoom, we'll see you in the Facebook group. Good night. All the best.
Right. See you later.